Was my face look too brown or something?
It just looks too. You know, because you forget how close. Here. Oh, jeez. Just right. This is just a little sponge. Just gonna take a little off, all right? Is this liquid eyeliner that you're using?
No.
Just what is it?
It's a pencil.
You don't mind that, do you? You know what I think I might want to do?
What?
I might want to just get some of your pancake, because this is not really smudging. Steve, can you just check that, please?
Yeah, let's see here.
Hey, Sam, could you do me a favor? Do you mind doing something for me?
Thank you.
Would you? Where can Sam go and get your pancake?
Yeah, he's got it. Valerie's got it. You could ask for Valerie.
Will you ask Valerie for his pancake? Valerie for his pancake?
Yeah, go ask for Val. Go ask Val if she's got. Yeah, Val, mixed wife. Tell her to ask her for the makeup box again.
Sorry about it.
Is it okay?
Are you going to be popping over to see Stevie after your show?
I might.
Okay. It's just making a step sometimes.
Wait, Sam!
Okay.
Sam! It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
I
good.
have the answer right in my purse. I don't know why I didn't think of it. I have a little thing right here.
Maybe, I don't know. Not right now. I can't think of it.
Okay. Here, I have some right now. Yeah, it should just be fine. Can you turn towards me? Jack Douglas.
That's right.
Who's Phil, who wound up producing an album that's...
Yeah.
Peter Wolf also says to say hello.
Oh, yeah, Peter Wolf. How is Peter Wolf?
He's fine. He looks great, I think, don't you think?
I miss him, yeah.
He's actually, when
He
I'm
didn't
away,
ask me to sing on his record, though.
but he was probably embarrassed, thinking you'd, of course, say no. Did you want to?
I would have.
I bet he would have died if you knew that.
Well, I hope he wouldn't have died, but maybe come close.
Well, when I'm away, he's going to be filling in, doing part of my show for me.
He is?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have me on as a guest.
It's this week.
It's this week?
Well, of course, I'm here.
You're here now. What's this man here shooting pictures for?
I don't know. Who is that? Gary seems to have taken care of it. So what's your favorite video on MTV?
The ones I've seen, out of my favorite one is the, let's see, we've got a few of them. I like that one of the police when they're jumping around in the studio.
Synchronicity.
Is that it? Well, they're in the studio and they're all wearing hats.
Every little thing she does is magic.
I like that. I like, well, of course I like Cyndi Lauper's.
Well, the lead singer of Van Halen.
I don't know
You know
him.
who he is?
I know who his uncle is. I used to work for his uncle.
I know, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's a small world.
As a matter of fact, his uncle gave me my very first job.
I know.
The first night I was ever
At the
in
Cafe One?
That's right. That's right. I have very fond memories of his uncle, Manny Roth.
Yeah, Uncle Manny.
Yeah.
Well, Uncle Manny is the guy that gave David Roth his first radio.
His first what?
His first radio.
You mean his radio?
Yeah, so, and David said, it's my Uncle Manny that got me in.
His Uncle Manny's a terrific guy.
But it's such a...
Does
two
David Lee
different-
Roth know that?
Oh, yeah.
Does he?
Oh, I don't know if he knows that Manny gave you your first job.
He gave
I'm
a lot
sure
of people
he
as their
does.
first jobs, as I remember.
I'm sure he
There were a
does.
lot of people that back down the street that worked for Manny. Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of people.
I don't
work for
associate
Manny.
Gordon
I
Lightfoot
worked
with
for Manny,
that.
as a matter of fact, in all afternoons from 12 until 8 in the afternoon. I worked also the day shift back then.
You mean you performed during
Yeah,
the day?
he had a cafe which stayed open until from 11 in the morning until 4 in the morning. And there was constantly something happening on the stage.
So I guess the more popular you got, the better your shift was.
No, not really. You never really did get popular there because people never knew who you were. Nobody was billed, I don't think.
Oh.
On the outside, nobody was billed. Well, once, to tell you the truth, you didn't pay after that. You passed the basket. And so after you play, you know, or a hat or a basket or a barrel or whatever you wanted to bring.
Wait, did you bring your own hat to be passed around?
Oh yeah, that's why I started wearing hats. I was used to wear hats. That's why
So
most people did wear
like
hats.
you to get like
Yeah,
a really little one so that people would feel bad because they think it was just a
my
little
hat was
one.
rather large. It was like a, you know, when you took it off, it might have been a bag.
A chef's hat.
Yeah, there were people that came in. Used to wonder why people used to play back then with big 10-gallon cowboy hats, and it's because
they pass them around. Oh, you are? Yeah. Oh, great! We got all that?
Yeah, the bigger the hat,
good.
the more money you made, you know.
Well, I guess I should get to my real questions at hand. One thing that is striking me about this whole deal here is there's a lot of excitement about this tour.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Don't you feel that? Do you feel
Well,
positive
I feel that way on every tour. I've never done a tour yet where there hasn't been a great deal of excitement. I've always felt that there's excitement. On every tour, wherever we play. Well, maybe not everywhere, but most everywhere.
What made you decide to go back out on the road now?
To do this tour? Well, this is not the tour I wanted to do. I wanted to do a South American tour, and it just wasn't feasible at this time, so I took this tour. This is why I'm doing this tour. There's no particular reason for it.
Well, you wanted to do a tour at this
I wanted to do a tour, and I wanted to specifically to play South America. And Bill Graham is about the only promoter I know that can get people down in South America. And he tried to do it, and then at the last moment, I was sort of set my mind mentally to do something. And we did this because the other one didn't come off.
Yes, but can we try and keep traffic from coming? Because that's what, if that, you know, shouldn't have that keep going.
But this has been a good tour.
What kind of audiences have been coming to the shows?
Mostly foreign audiences. In France, we had mostly French audiences, and then in Spain, we had a lot of Spanish audiences. In Germany, there were German audiences.
What about Italy?
Italy, they were mostly, probably Italian. I don't know.
Do you find that they're older fans that have been your fans since the 60s, newer people?
I find all types of people, yeah. As the older ones, you know, they get so old, they may not want to come out, you know, because after all, you get to be this age, you get to be old, you know. And at this, a lot of people, when they get to be in this age group, it's harder for them to get out of the house. You know, it's harder for them to sit in a big crowd with a lot of people. It's harder for them to. It's very difficult for them to go to the record store and buy a record when they get to be my age.
You mean really old?
Oh yeah. So usually you have to have younger fans because they're willing to go and you know and go out in public and go to the shows. But most of the people who started out with me, I don't know what happened to them. Some of them know. they still brave the animosity of the world and managed to make it to the show. I've seen a lot of faces from the 60s, 50s.
How's the reception been?
Well, the reception's always good. There's never any problem between the audience and me. There's never any problem between. The problem is other media problems. For some reason the media reportage on the shows I've done never has really been entirely accurate since '78. This is true. I wouldn't want to go deeply into that, but I don't know why, but if you go to the show, you'll see an entirely different thing than if you read about it in the newspaper the next day. Not all the time. Quite a bit of it. I didn't expect that answer, I know.
No, but I don't think it's true that you've always gotten I'm sure there are times where the
A lot of
reception's
times you read about negative response, like, oh, he went electric and all people booed or walked out. Well, these things aren't true. It's true to an extent, but, you go to you say, oh, it was all gospel. Oh, so that the crowd booed and walked out. This wasn't true. Maybe 3 or 4 people maybe walked out. If 3 or 4 people walked out, I personally, I've never heard of it myself, but there's never been a problem between the crowd and me as a performer. If people want to go, they go. If they don't, they don't. If they go, they generally leave, in a new frame of mind. They leave changed. They're in a different frame of mind when they came, and I think something to do.
What is it about your show that you think changes people?
Well, during the course of the show, I myself probably change, so maybe people can pick that up, they sense that, and then maybe they go through a few changes themselves, I don't know.
Is that an objective?
That's what I've observed, and all the time I've been performing.
Regardless of whether they league changed or whatever, it is true that for almost as long as you've been performing, people have been coming out to see you, and if there was anybody that could walk around with the title of legend in rock and roll, I don't mean to, it is you. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's because I've been around, it seems like so long, but, I think anybody, when they get past a certain age, is entitled to that title. And just to make it through, all you have to make it through your title. Everybody is actually legendary in their own kind of way. You're legendary to many people, I'm sure. But it feels, I don't know. It's nothing you can taste or smell. It usually has to do more with other people than your own self. From my experience.
Does that affect your everyday life?
You mean walk down the street knowing you're a living legend? Well, yeah, sometimes I guess.
What about from your point of view? When you think of who you're impressed by, is there anybody in rock and roll that you consider legendary?
No, just the people that have gone on,
That's okay. Like who?
Well, the people that I've known, that I consider legendary. Well, all the early rock and roll people, aren't around anymore. Buddy Holly, Gene Vincent. Woody Guthrie is legendary. A lot of people that you don't have too much information about are really, this is legendary. man type of way, I'm sure they'll treat you as a legendary figure. But if you go to buy a loaf of bread or you go into a restaurant to order a meal and the check comes, and you say, hey, wait a minute, I know you're I'm a legendary. Yeah, I've tried that a few times. No, I didn't tell them I was legendary. I'd say, I'll sign the check. I don't have it. I just know I'm a little short of cash at the moment. Is it okay if I just sign it? Yeah, people don't want to hear that.
They sent you in the back to the dishes. Pretty.
Yeah, something like that.
Being that this is for MTV, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about videos. For instance, your history in videos is actually pretty far. In fact, for Subterranean Homesick Blues, that clip was probably one of the first.
I think so. Well, yeah, but the first videos were the movies they used to make. Little Richard, Bill Can't Help It, my favorite videos are the Gene Vincent videos that he did when he performed the movies. He was in the Bill Can't Help It. He also made a couple other ones, and they're very dynamic videos. You could play them today, and they would be far superior to most of the stuff that they're playing on the time. I seem to recall a lot of that in the late 50s. I saw some movies which had some performance in it. Johnny Cash once made a video. It's not a what is a video? Video is just lip syncing to a record. That's all it is, I think. I mean, we call them videos, right? But you're just lip syncing to a record. Or even a piece of film now is a video. So what's a video? I'm not quite sure I know what a video is, except the market for video. The market is new. But the form has always been there. Yeah, they did a Subterranean Homesick Blues as a video. I don't know if it was a video. We didn't think of it as a video at the time. We just needed a piece of film to go at the beginning of a movie.
But now videos as a promotional tool and as an entity of
they're very important, yeah. I mean, it's hard to think of people who don't have videos, isn't it?
How do you think your music lends itself to videos?
I think it lends itself great to videos. I haven't found anybody to direct a real good video. I wanted to do a video of Neighborhood Bully, and I had an idea. I thought it would have been great, but now it's too late, because it's on that last record. But I mean, if you're working all the time, and your mind is just completely focused on so-called, career aspect of things, well, then you're going to be doing all that stuff. You're going to be compiling. You're just going to be taking advantage of every aspect of the game, and I just for me to make records and play live shows seems to be enough that I really want to do. I don't really want to get involved in taking charge and making a video. We did that movie Ronaldo and Clara, and that was enough for me. I don't like to be the head of ordering people around, telling them what to do. It's too much energy,
It seems, because of your film background, that it would be natural for you
to direct I'd love to do it. We had, like I said, we wanted to do Neighborhood Bully, but trying to explain it to somebody what you see and then draw up storyboards, I haven't found anybody that really thinks a certain way that needs to be, that like the German filmmakers or the English filmmakers. I mean, in the States, they just don't have people like that. They just don't exist. They don't. Their education doesn't train them for that sort of thing. To think, what they do is you get told what to think. Here's what to think. When you're doing something, it's like, here's what you're supposed to think about that. But you don't ever learn the process of how to think. You know what I mean? Or what you can do to be different, or how to expand things. This is what I think This is my own humble opinion.
Well, if you haven't found somebody to do it, why don't you do it yourself?
I don't want to do it myself. It's too hard.
Let me talk about Joker Man a little bit. How do you think that translated the song?
I only saw that one time, and I don't even want to talk about that video. There's nothing I really want to discuss.
Well, okay, then let me ask you in general. You have a song, either Joker Man or Sweetheart Like You, or Neighborhood Bully that you're about to do. How do you approach visualizing the imagery in the songs?
Well, Neighborhood Bully could have been. I I visualized Neighborhood Bully. I wanted to find. We had a couple of guys cast for Neighborhood Bully. One was this guy, this wrestler. I forget his name. Jerry Blackwell. He's a wrestler. Comes out of the Midwest. He would have been great as a Neighborhood Bully. And there were certain segments which I just wrote down one night, which I thought would look great on film, and it would be like a Fassbinder movie. Have you ever seen his movies? Something of that nature. But
What? I'm sorry. What? I've never have. What kind of nature do you mean?
well, it's hard to explain. It's like somebody saying, "What's that song about?" I mean, it's not about. That's what it's about. Have you heard the song? Yeah, I've heard the song. Well, what's it about? Well, have you heard it? Yeah, I've heard it. Well, that's what it's about. It's about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you referred to Fassbinder as like a style. And I don't know what that means.
Well, he had, for me, I think he had about 3 different styles. He had a style he started out with, and he had a middle style, and he had his gospel period, and his blue period, and then he went electric.
I want to talk a little bit about the album. Finish with video for now. The sound on Infidels that you got with Mark Knopfler is a little different than a lot of your past albums, and that you took more takes, it's overdubs, use the dub technique.
Yeah, doesn't sound as good as it should though. Still, it's okay, you know. But I heard a song. I never listened to my records. You know, and we were just in the store the other day, and it was on the radio. Joker Man was on the radio. I couldn't stand the way it sounded. I just didn't like the way it sounded. I said, please turn it down.
You never listen to your records?
Never. Well, I will if they're on, but I mean, I don't go home and listen to my records.
Why did you decide to approach recording Infidels the way you did?
Well, we didn't really approach it any differently than any other record. We put the tracks down and sang most of the stuff live. Only later, when we had so much stuff, we recorded over more things than were necessary for a record. And then when we started to narrow stuff down, we put on a record. I wanted to fill it up more, and I never wanted to do that with any other record. I just wanted it to be fuller. A lot of records you'll hear, it's all filled up. Every note is already there for you. It's like, if you ever listen to an Eagles record, I mean, one thing about the Eagles, the songs are good and all that, but if you listen to an Eagles record, every note is predictable. You know exactly what it's going to be before it even's there, And I started to sense some of that on Infidels, and I didn't like it because that's not my kind of record. So I decided to redo some of the vocals, because I knew how I was going to sound before they came out, And I decided I didn't want to do that. I'd rather do live performance, so I just redid the vocals, and we added this and added that. But we didn't add that much. That record's not an overly produced record like most of these records where they have synthesizers. The sound, you don't have to think. I mean, because there's all that sound that's already there. The space is gone. And I personally like records and sound. I like to hear the space.
And recording sort of live in the studio has also been traditional with you, which you did some retakes on this album. Did it affect the spontaneity?
Man of Peace is live. Man of Peace is live. It's live on it. There's about half that record is live. It's live. License to Kill was live. Neighborhood Bully was live. Mm-hmm. That was just done like that. No overdubs, no.
Well, License to Kill and Neighborhood Bully, it's interesting that you say they were recorded live, because that's something that you did an awful lot of. And it also strikes me that those are two songs that sort of deal directly with contemporary social or political issues, which is also something that you've been away from. Why both of those things on this album?
I think all my songs deal with social political issues. That's why they call me protesting. They all deal with that.
But you hate being called a protest singer.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, that's what they call me anyway. What does it matter what I care? What does it matter what I feel about what it is I do? I mean, everybody else seems to have their opinion. So what does my opinion matter?
It's for this album, you dealt with it. For instance, Neighborhood Bully or Union on
Well, I try to put a little bit of everything, onto a record.
Well, you haven't tried to put that on a record for, wasn't around for Shot of Love, wasn't around for Save.
Shot of Love was that's a sore point with me. It's Shot of Love because Shot of Love to me, I think was a great record. In a lot of ways, much better than Infidels, but Shot of Love though doesn't have a history. That's why it wasn't accepted, and it wasn't a 28 million platinum record. That's why it wasn't a huge money maker. Because it doesn't have a history. That type of music has no history. Just the same way Street Legal. I don't know if you ever heard of a record I made. I made a record one year called Street Legal. And it has no history. There's no history behind it. Nothing leading up to it. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Shot of Love. There's no history to it. There's no, well, where does that come from? Or why is he doing this? I mean, you can't hang it on anything.
I'm not sure why one album has more history than another.
Well, for instance, they record most of my albums. They go from this to that. Because this one was here. This one's here. And this one's here. Oh yeah, well this is a logical extension of that. And, this don't fit in, but this one does, and this is connected to that, and so it all makes sense. Here comes a record like Shot of Love, which don't make sense on any kind of that sociological, political, romantic level. That's why, people can't relate to it because they don't think that way. Everybody thinks, they know where. But the sound of it was good, and the sound of it was very good. About my records and what I do, I personally have preferences that other people don't have. I know what people want to hear, and I know what they think they want to hear.
We were talking before about Manny Roth. Speaking of history, and how that he was the guy that gave you your first job at the Cafe Wa on McDougal Street. When you look back to those early days, if I could delve into this a little bit, when you look back in your early days as a folk singer in the village, what are the things like that stand out to you?
Where? Like in Cafe Wa?
Or Gertie's Folk City?
Oh, all of it,
Did you have to pass a hat there too?
No. The only place I passed the hat was in those coffee houses. I was paid a salary in Gertie's Folk City, and in the Gaslight when I played there, I think I paid about $60 a week or something. And there's a lot of entertainers, one after another, maybe 6 people, 7 people in there, and you just constantly go from 6 o'clock in the evening till 4 in the morning, whenever it's your turn, now it's your turn, and then the comedian goes on. Bill Cosby started. Actually, I remember when Bill Cosby started. Bill Cosby used to play at the Gaslight. And I remember when he came to town. He came there. I was on the same bill with him for a long time. Bill Cosby, a lot of famous people down there. But what I remember about those days, I don't know. As I get older and older, it begins to fade away. My memory becomes a little more hazy. I'm not even sure it existed, actually.
Well, since I know that we are hitting time, I'm just going to wrap things up. If you can stand it, I mean, are you okay? Are you too tired?
Not yet.
We were talking earlier about various types of audiences coming into your shows, new fans, established fans. Is it important to you, somebody who has meant so much to the generation of the 60s, leading into the 70s, is it important to you at this point to reach a new generation?
Well, you can't look at old fans and new fans. You must treat everyone as an equal. There's no respect to persons in an audience. Somebody's been there 20, 30 years, great, but someone else who just got out of the crib, they're the same. There's no difference. You can't look at someone and as if there's any difference.
Well, that's true. But there's definitely a whole new crop that hasn't
there's always a new crop.
Is it important to you to reach that new crop?
Well, I don't reach anybody, but they find me. You know, they find me. It's not for me to go out and reach somebody. If they can find me, they find me, and if they don't, they don't. That's the way it's always been. I don't think it's going to change now just because it's I'm such an old man and it's 1980 what is it now?
4, Bob, 4.
Okay.
I know, you forget. So many years collect.
I do. I mean, the years just roll by.
All right, couple of more things. There has been, unquestionably, a lot of publicity, a lot of discussion about so many things that you've been exploring and going in different ways. And I read a quote somewhere where you said, people want to know where I'm at because they don't know where they're at, which I think is probably very accurate. But I was wondering, because of your theological excursions, where you're at today.
I'm just right here. I'm in the back of Wembley Stadium, and I'm waiting to go on. And theologically, it's just one great big church. I don't know how else to put it. Theologically, what are my religious feelings and all that? I don't feel we really have to go into that right now.
Okay, then I have one more question. You are somebody who has it seems to me, you have explored and really with great, what do I want to say, perseverance, all kinds of different spiritual paths, philosophical paths. You know, you've learned from so many different people. After all of that, you today, do you think that you've come closer to finding peace of mind?
I think so. Peace of mind has never really been anything I've ever strived for. But it's like happiness, you know. Happiness isn't something you try to strive for. It's the end result of doing something which makes you happy. You know, you follow me? The same way, peace of mind isn't something that you strive for. It's something that you acquire if you're doing something which in the end product or at the end of the line brings you peace of mind. I don't really, you know, we have peace of mind. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and just hear the birds singing and it's quite pleasant. Peace of mind, you know, and all of a sudden the telephone rings and the doorbell rings and that's the end of it. So, I mean, you can get peace of mind here and there, but that's not anything to brag about. I mean, there's many people walking around and say they have peace of mind. You see them in long robes and you know, live on mountaintops and they got their eyes closed sitting in lotus position. Peace of mind, so...
So that's it?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, did you get to ask anything that you
Well, I had to cut out a lot of stuff, but we're okay. We are okay.
You gotta be on 4 minutes.
How long?
4 minutes.
4 minutes?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you get. Don't get the shirt.
Martha, it's been a enjoyable talk to you. I'm serious. You asked some really good questions.
Well, I hope so.
You did.
I tried to.
You asked
I mean,
better than 95%.
well, I try not to ask you
They're
when the world is
interesting.
going to end. You know.
Yeah.